Hello, everyone. My name is Zahin Nanji, host of this show, Attract Your Ideal Weight, and this is our sixth episode now. And I've been hearing good feedback from the other five episodes. And if you're not sure, or if you want to find out more about the last five, please go to attractyouridealweight.com. And on the left-hand side, you'll see a menu. On there, you'll see Google Hangout episodes. Click on that and make sure you watch the other five. We have spoken about things like diets. Are they good or bad? We have spoken about your why, or other things like behaviors and how to start to change them. And that's what I say, that my book, Attract Your Ideal Weight, which is an award-winning book. Yes, thank you very much, award-winning. It's there not to show you how to eat and exercise. That was not the intention. The intention of the book is to show you how others have done it and to model after them so that you can start to change your lifestyle and behavior. And from this episode on, I'm going to be bringing very amazing guests who have done it, who have maintained it, and also just some ideas and tips on how to eat better, especially with the holidays coming up. You know, how can we handle that? And so all that will be coming on. So please stay tuned. We air every last Sunday of the month, and the next one is November 30th. Now, I know it'll be after Thanksgiving in America, but I'm sure you'll be home and you can watch it another time if you like, but make sure you come on and join me so that you can learn how to deal with the holidays, because that's a question I get asked a lot. So on that episode, I will be having another guest come on who will speak about that, and you'll want to join then. But today I have with me, again, an author and an amazing woman who, just after speaking to her for a few minutes, told me that she is a resilient woman. What does that mean? It means that she has gone back and figured out what has worked for her and what has not. She hasn't given in. In fact, she figured out that to look ahead instead of looking back, to master herself and find out what are her strengths and weaknesses. That is being resilient. And that's what I found out from her, from just being with her for just a few minutes, and I had to bring her on my show. So please help me welcome Bonita Lehman. Hey, how's it going, Bonita?
Hi, Zahin. I'm great, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on your show. It's a pleasure.
Perfect. Now, just before I ask you some more questions, Bonita, I just want to let the audience know that you can ask me questions as you watch this today. If you have any questions for me or for our guest, please put them in, and we will do our best to answer. But half an hour goes by really, really quick, and I'm amazed how I still have questions for the guest and the time's up. But if we don't answer it, I will answer it through my community on Google+. So what you want to do is join my page, Attract Your Ideal Weight, on Google+, and join our community. All right, so Bonita, I'm going to, I didn't want to get into your bio too much because you have amazing things going on. And so why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself. And I know you had mentioned that you had struggled with your weight on and off. So tell me what happened that made you maintain your weight for the last, I think you said 8 years?
8 years, yes. Well, I struggled with my weight since high school. And I'm a mother. I have 2 girls. And just after the pregnancies, just never got a handle on it, and just over the years got heavier and heavier. And one of the things that happened, like I said, I'm a mother. I have 2 children, and my firstborn, Samantha, she was diagnosed she almost died before she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 18 months of age. So as you can imagine, my life was turned topsy-turvy with this information, and I was thrown into being a mother of a child that has a chronic illness, and it affected me deeply. And it was just consuming me. So daily insulin injections, the stress of having a child on a very strict schedule, eating, activity, etc. So I really had zero time for myself, zero. And I was trying to make it good for everyone and trying to make it better for everyone. And to cope with my, there was feelings, there was anger and isolation and, despair and guilt. I felt guilty that I had, caused this and was really putting a lot on myself. So the way I managed it was eating. Mm-hmm. And I just soothed myself through eating. And over the years, I was almost 200 pounds at one point.
Wow.
And at 5'8", not, I can't handle being 200 pounds. So, and I was just not aware of any healthy activity. I really wasn't doing much. And then slowly I started, I was always healthy and fit up until, high school and my early 20s. And then it just all sort of went to pot after that. But so then one morning, I woke up and I felt like I was drowning. Quite literally, I was in this dream that I was swept away into the ocean. And I woke up that morning and I lied there and I go, Bonita, you have to change something. There was this voice that was calling out to me and saying, Bonita, do something, And because I was always so unhappy with my weight, I never wanted to be, overweight, of course, but it was just always, every time I looked at myself in the mirror, it was just this draining, effect it had on me because I wasn't happy with what I was seeing in the mirror. So then one morning I woke up and I headed to the gym. And Samantha was 15 at the time, and she was doing fine. Her diabetes, she'll never grow out of it. It is what it is. But she was thriving as a teenager, and I have another daughter, Lexi, who's 3 years younger. And I mean, they were doing great. The family was doing great. I had a great job. But just that one part of my life was just not doing well, and I really wasn't happy, So then I went to the gym, and I know physical activity. I was active as a youngster, playing all sorts of sports, and went to the gym and got serious and started to talk to one of the trainers there, and she said, Bonita, you have to figure out what you're doing now and decide what you want to look like or be like, get a sense of where you are and where you want to be. So she said, are you serious about this? And I said, yes, I am. And she said, okay, you're going to start with a food diary and an activity diary. And I said, sure, I can do that. I've been logging diabetes blood sugars for 15 years. I can do this. So I always thought I ate healthy, and I couldn't figure out why I was so heavy. And because I was eating whole wheat bagels and low-fat cream cheese and fruit and peanut butter and, whole wheat bread. So anyway, so when I sat down and I actually looked at what I was eating, it was just way too much. Just way too much for somebody of my size and height. So, after a week, we looked at the calories, and I can't even remember what they were. But yeah, so we put it into the computer, and I mean, you can put in, how much you want to weigh, how tall you are, and all that, and it can figure it out for you. So I determined that I was eating too much and not really the right combination of foods, not enough lean protein, and just too many starchy carbs, and then again, just too much. So I totally changed the way I ate, and then I also coupled that with working out properly in the gym. I was at the gym, but I was just going through the motions. I wasn't focused on anything. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a program. I was just doing the odd classes here and there. It was just had no routine to it at all. And I had in my mind what I wanted to look like was strong and confident. I always, think of the movies, and you think of, Sigourney Weaver and Alien, and Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2, you know, when she comes back and really kicks butt. That's what I wanted to be. And so I knew it in my head what Bonita really wanted to look like. And that was strong and muscular. And I wasn't afraid of having muscle. And I'm big for a girl, like I said, 5'8". And so I worked out really heavy weights and heavier than I ever did before, and didn't do a lot of cardio. I used to do a ton of it, and then kettlebells. I fell in love with working out with kettlebells. That's one of my favorites. I still work out with them today as often as I can. And I cranked up my workouts in the gym, and I changed what I ate. I ate a lot of lean protein, fish, low-fat cottage cheese, lots of eggs, egg white, and just started to feed my body, and I was feeling amazing, and I still feel amazing. So I was giving my body what it really needed for the longest time without my realizing, because before I wasn't sleeping well. I was miserable. I was unhappy and not sleeping well and not feeling well and didn't have energy for this, and now I had energy to spare. So I went from a size 18 to a size 10, and I've been that way for 8 years, and I still eat very healthy. I have steel cut oats in the morning with some, an egg white and almonds, and I'm probably eating more often, and it seems like more food, but it's just more protein and just more often during the day, just to keep my body fueled and energized for what I need to do. And it's when I changed the way I looked, and I explained to my readers, because I wrote it all out in a book now. I finally sat down to write my memoir about what really happened and to share it with everyone, because it's a pretty powerful message. But as I slowly watched myself in the mirror at the gym, and I explain to my readers my audience, as I got strong from the outside in. And as I got strong and muscular, I could see it in the mirror. I'm going, wow, this is always what I had envisioned here. And it was like I was attracting it. You talk about attracting your ideal weight. Well, I was attracting the real Bonita, what Bonita wanted to be, and it was inside the whole time and just waiting to come out. So I kept attracting it with what I was thinking. I was thinking, yeah, strong and confident, and 6 months, a year later, poof, there she was, strong and confident Bonita. And then I also changed my mind because I felt so great.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to say.
So, yeah. So I'm hearing things that how you had already had in your mind what you wanted. Yeah. What would you tell, and I have so many clients that I coach that have come to me, and they will tell me things like, yeah, I have been on this diet and that diet, but I gained the weight back. Or I did go on a diet and I did start exercising, but then I gained the weight back. What's going on with them that they tend to gain the weight back, Bonita?
Well, it's with your habits. It's your daily habits. And I don't know if this is for everyone, but what I have observed is the fact that you're starting a diet and you're exercising, but it's not a part of you. It's not the habit. Like for me, going to the gym and grabbing, cottage cheese and an apple, out the door, that's what I do. That's who I am. And I don't think of getting a chocolate bar or, eating a whole bag of chips. That's just not who I am. I just don't do it. It's not a part of Bonita. So you have to buy into it, and you have to own it. It has to be a part of your life, and you have to embrace it and just do it every day. And okay. I don't even think about eating a donut if they're sitting. I just don't. You just can't do it. Yeah.
So then so I just want to get into your head a little more, and I loved the answer that you gave, that the difference between you and the people who yo-yo diet, that kind of tend to go on diets and then gain the weight back, is that they have to buy into the changing habit and lifestyle. And that's what I completely agree with, because that's the secret that I have in here.
Wow.
in my book is that that's what I've observed in people, is
Yeah.
that they change their habits and they accept that this is the way they're going to. But let me get into your head a little more. You said something that when I go out, it's an apple and a cottage cheese, and that's me. But I'm sure, what would you tell someone who says, but if there's a muffin or a bagel there, what are you thinking in your head, or saying to yourself to stop you from going there, and instead you take an apple and cottage cheese? What would you think or see in your mind's eye?
Yeah. No, it's an excellent question, Zaheen. Absolutely. And I talk a lot about it in my book because part of my message is that I went from a worrier to a warrior. And I was listening to the wrong voice in my head. And it was the voice that was telling me that you're not good enough, who cares about what you want to say? And Bonita, you're fat, nobody will listen to you. I was really damaging my who I was, and it was this voice that was just telling me awful things. And for some reason I listened to it. And I also had people in my life that were saying the same thing. So I was convincing myself that I was no good. So the morning when I woke up and heard that voice that was saying, Bonita, you have to change something or you're going to drown, was my warrior voice. And that angel or the voice, the warrior, whatever you want to call it, was shouting at me to save me. And then I started to listen to the warrior that is in all of us. You have a warrior, Zahid, you can call her whatever you like, your angel or whatever, but it's your voice that is going to make you be the best you. So my warrior voice will go, Bonita, no apple cottage cheese, because you know that you're going to feel so much better. But if you take that muffin, I know that in an hour I'm going to feel crappy. I'm not going to want to go to the gym. I'm not going to want to go for a walk. I'm not going to go the extra mile at work. I'm not going to take that extra file and work on it a little bit more because you just don't feel great. And the other thing is when I lost the weight and I got, strong and confident, everything around me blossomed. It was like this radiating sunshine. My job, I got so much better. I had better friendships. I was a better mother. Unfortunately, my marriage didn't last because it was one of those not really the right voice that I was associating with. And then all the friends that I had were like-minded. They were active, and we helped each other and promoted each other and wanted to see the best in all of us. And that's who I was hanging around with. So that just makes everything so much better in your world. Just feeling better and being the best you at all times.
Okay. So for those of you just joining us, we are live on Attract Your Ideal Weight show with Bonita, who is the author of Saving You, Saving Me, correct?
Saving her, saving me.
I'm sorry, Saving Her, Saving Me. Thank you. And we are just kind of speaking about how she changed her lifestyle. And it's really amazing to go into her mind and figure out how she did it. But of course, if you want to hear more, get her book, and she's going to tell you how to get it now at the end. So you got to stay tuned. So Bonita, okay, so there's a few things that you said here that really I want to get back into your head again. You said a couple of things, that you started to listen to your warrior voice. And again, when I have interviewed others who are resilient in what they're doing, that's the one thing that they have come up with all the time, is that they hear the voice that is going to help them, not the voice that is going to make them feel worse. And unfortunately, the voice that makes us feel worse is louder than the other one.
Yes, it
and
is.
So, do you agree with me that it takes practice to make your warrior voice louder by ignoring the other one?
It's true, and it's funny you should say that because I talk about it often. I still today have to make a conscious effort to listen to that warrior voice because I will always be filled with doubt. I will always be questioning myself. And even, Bonita, why are you writing your book? Why do you want to give this message? There were many uninvited guests in my mind that were saying, Bonita, does it really matter? Who cares about your story? Whatever. You're just a mom in Edmonton, and you know, there's so many people that have worse lives than you. I mean, you know, devastating and all that. So why am I so special? But you know what? Every morning I have to, it's almost like putting on the warrior suit all over again every single day. I'm going to go, Bonita, your message matters. Hundreds of people will be helped by your message, and it makes me a better person having written it and having the courage to actually share my story. Because if I don't share the story, nobody will benefit from what I went through. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, it wasn't just the weight loss, it was the chronic illness with my daughter, and how it affected me and how it affected her. And you know, there's many different layers to this onion girl that I am. But one of the foundations was, of course, the weight and the warrior voice. And it helps me just through everything. So every morning I remind myself that I'm worth it. I remind myself for my commitment to being healthy and fit. And I remind myself, you know, a lot of people say, don't, you know, forget about your past. It's going to just hold you back. But, you know, I still want to remember how I used to feel and how I looked. Because I know in my mind, I never want to be like that again. I was in that space for so many years, and it's going to make me cry. But I never want to be that sad mom, that sad woman back then because she was so unhappy, and it was just an awful place to be. And I remind myself every day that I never want to be like that again, and I don't have to because I surround myself with positive people like you. I mean, I meet you a week ago, and here we are, you know, sharing this message with each other. And I have this beautiful community of people that help me. My family surrounds me with support. And I never had any of that because I never reached out to anyone. I never had a community because I didn't believe in myself. But now I do. I believe in myself. I have a daily commitment to myself and my family and those that I love. But it's a daily thing. It's one of those small little tasks that you do every day, like getting the mail or you know, taking out the garbage. You do it, and it becomes almost like a habit, but conscious habit. And grabbing the cottage cheese and the apple instead of the muffin when you're in the office, or if it's a birthday. You know what? No thanks. I won't have cake, but I'm celebrating with you. You know, and you drink your water, your tea, and you know, go on your day. It's a decision. And no, you don't have to have a piece of cake.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else is putting that food in your mouth except you.
That's right. So, what do you tell people when they say things like, "But I feel deprived," and you know, that cake is calling me, or that cookie is calling me? And I'm serious, Bonita. I hear this when I do my workshops. These
Wow.
are the things that I hear, you know, that, oh, it's calling me, and I love food, so why can't I have that? And I'm not saying not to have that. I'm just saying that learn what conscious habits are, like the way you said. But what would you tell, you know, someone who says they feel deprived?
You know what? If you feel deprived, you have to replace it with something. So, you know, I used to eat a chocolate bar a day. I was a chocolate bar a day girl, and I just replaced it with it's a clean eating philosophy. If I mean, it's there's a lot of you know documentation on eating clean and what is eating clean, but you know, after a while, so I gave myself 30 days. I said, Bonita, just stay on task for 30 days. No cheating, no nothing. And it was hard. Trust me, those chocolate bars were calling me. But you know what? And then when I gave myself after 30 days, okay, Bonita, in 30 days You can have a chocolate bar. You're going to have that Wonder Bar. I love Wonder Bars, peanut butter cups, that kind of stuff. So in 30 days, I kept thinking, okay, well, I looked on the calendar and marked off the days. I'm going to have that chocolate bar. It's going to taste so good, blah, blah, blah. But I made a deal with myself. So in 30 days, I had that chocolate bar, and you know what? It didn't even really taste that great, and I felt crappy, and my body was sluggish, and I'm thinking, why do I want to do that? So then you start to realize what that food is doing for you, and it's going to stop calling your name. It's going to be the apple calling your name, or cottage cheese. My favorite food is cottage cheese. I love that stuff. I can't live without it. And my girls say, Mom, you're nuts about that stuff. I am, but I love it, and that calls my name now. It's true. I love my cottage cheese.
And so, what would you tell someone when they say things like, but I'm just, I don't feel like exercising today. It's just another chore. I don't have time in my day to, go and exercise. I'm just so busy. What would you tell listeners about that? Because that's, again, other things that I hear all the time from my clients as well.
Yeah. Well, I always think, everybody has a priority list, and what are your top 5 priorities right now in your life, your world, whatever. So you write down your list, and never are Bonita is, never used to be on my priority list. I wasn't even on any list. But now I'm number 1 on my priority list, because a rich man has a lot more to give than a poor man. So if I make sure that I'm taken care of, get enough sleep, eat properly, go to the gym, exercise, whatever fitness thing you want to do, I will have way more wealth to share with my family and everyone else, that I will be a better person, better mother, better employee, etc., better friend. So you have to take that 30 minutes, and you have to do it. And you know what, there's lots of times I don't feel like working out at the gym, but I know when I'm done, I'm going to feel amazing. And I know, and I force myself. Just like, what makes you get up at, to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning? You have to do it. That's just the mindset for the gym. You have to do it. And I used to work out 5-6 days a week when I was, years ago when I was first starting out. And I would have to force myself to take a day off, because that's how much I was committed to fitness. And I would always say to myself, okay, every day is an opportunity to work out. And it wouldn't be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then either Saturday or Sunday. It would be every day is an opportunity to work out. Because I know one of those 7 days, or at least 2 or 3, it's not going to work out because, the kids are sick, I got to pick up somebody from soccer or work late or whatever. So with that difference of mindset, I actually got to the gym more that way than designating Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because there's going to be a Wednesday that something's going to happen. So make a commitment to go every day, and if you end up working out 3 days in a row, give yourself a treat and just take the day off. You know what? I worked out for 3 days in a row. I'm a rock star. I'm going to take today off. And that was my mindset. And I got to the gym more often than anyone else with that mindset. And that was something that was a real game changer for me. I had my workout bag in my vehicle every day, because, hey, what happens if you get off work early? Like, I was in sales, and I'm still in sales, but what if your client at the end of the day cancels or your meeting goes short? Holy cow, I got my gym bag in the vehicle. I can go straight to the gym. So be prepared to work out every single day. And you know what? If you can't get to the gym, put your runners on and go for a brisk walk at lunchtime. Just get out and move.
Yeah. Amazing advice. And like I said, you know what? We just have a couple more minutes left, and I have so many more questions to ask you. But this is how time flies when you're having fun. But I just wanted to recap what you were saying, and to the listeners as well, is that this is exactly what resilient people in weight loss do. And what you said was that you were moving toward a goal, and the goal for you was just to feel good and feel healthy about yourself. And in the process, you changed your mind, you changed the belief systems that you held, and you also had a phrase or more, things like, I'm going to put out my wore your suit today.
That's
That,
right.
is a thinking and a phrase. You
Yep.
said that every day is an opportunity to exercise. That's a phrase and a very good way to think of things. And
Yep.
and the last thing that I really like, which is very, very common in resilient people, is the network of support. And I say this all the time, that when you have that, that really makes you move forward. And you built that around you, so good on you. So now we only have a minute left. So can you tell us where we can find your book and read more about you and your amazing life?
So my book is called Saving Her, Saving Me, right there. And
Mm-hmm.
this is my daughter and myself. And it's available on Amazon.com. So Amazon.com, not .ca. And it's going to be uploaded into Kindle format next week. But yeah, it's available. You can order it online. I just put it on there 48 hours ago, so it's brand new. But I've been selling some copies already just on my own at certain events, and I have a whole list of people that want the book. But yeah, please visit Amazon.com and also my website, Dream Big, Live Amazing, because I never used to dream big at all. And now I dream big and I live an amazing life, is how I like to say. So that's my tagline and my mantra, is to dream big and live amazing every day.
Okay, perfect. And if anyone wants to contact you, they can go on your website, which is
Mhm.
dreambig-liveamazing.com, correct?
That's right. Yeah, that's it. And I'm inspirational speaker, and I connect with groups just talking about empowerment and health and fitness, and also, dealing with chronic illness. After 20 years, my daughter's 21 right now, successful. I did a lot of really great things, and I did a lot of not so great things, but I have learned an awful lot, and I do workshops for different, chronic illness groups, and I love to come out and help and share my story, and show the lining in the cloud, so to speak, the silver lining.
Well, I will tell you, all of you, that if you ever want to hear her speak, please get her on, because she knows what she's talking about. I've
Thank you.
interviewed a lot of clients who have done exactly what she's done, but for sure, you're unique in the way you did it and in the way you thought it out, which is amazing. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. And attractyouridealweight.com. Go and listen to the other 5 episodes, and join our community on Google Plus as well. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Bye for now, Zaheen. Thank